Hello and welcome to step 3. I'd like you to go just under projects, open, and we're going to open step 3. Double click, your file will open and you will see that we are exactly in the same place where we left off. What we're going to do now is we're going to add walls, columns, and we're going to modify our floor. From here, we're going to go to our project browser and double click level 1. It is important to remember that every view is always open, hence you can flick between the tabs and your views. The great thing about Revit is that you can view two views at the same time, and there are two ways of doing this. If you go to the View tab and along to the right, you will see a button that says Tile Windows. Press this button. As you will see, we now have two views open on our screen. Another way of doing this, if we were to close the level 1 plan, it automatically maximizes the 3D. If we were to redo this again, but using a shortcut, double click on level 1 and press WT on your keypad. Now, as you will notice, the objects and the grid lines are slightly off view. To centralize this, I would like you to press ZA, and you will notice that everything is centralized. ZA stands for Zoom All. Our next step is to draw some walls. So we go to the Architectural tab and select Wall. One thing to remember that which is important is we need to select the right wall under the Properties palette. The great thing is at the moment is we are actually going to use this wall, but what we are going to change is the top constraint to level 3. And as you'll notice on my screen, we have top constraint unconnected. If you select this and choose level 3. Now go to your plan view, zoom in to your grid line 6 and A, select the rectangle tool up the top under the modify place wall, which you will notice is green. Select this, hover over between grid line 6 and A, click once. Now all the way down to the bottom between grid lines 4 and 5 and click twice. And automatically you will see in the 3D view what you have created. Just like before, you will notice in the plan, level 1, that if you zoom out, you will see our lock markers. What we're wanting to do is lock our walls to the floor. So just like before, hover over the lock till it's gold, click once, and repeat this 4 times. Now that we have locked the walls to the floor, we're able to manipulate the building via the grid lines. I'd like you to press Escape twice and you will notice that the user interface is no longer green. I'd like you to zoom in between 6 and A on the grid lines and select grid line A. Zoom out a little bit, then select it again and move the grid line up, and you will notice automatically that our wall has followed the grid line both in plan and in 3D. To undo what you have just done, simply press Ctrl Z and everything will return back to normal. Alternatively, if you're not used to using Ctrl Z, at the very top on the quick access toolbar you'll notice undo and redo. So if I press redo, you can notice that the wall has jumped to where you did previously, and if I go along and press undo, it will undo. Very simple. Now that we have drawn our walls, we would like to change them, and there are many ways of doing this. The quick and easiest way is to hover over a wall, press tab once, and you will notice that all walls have selected. Now click your mouse and you will notice that they've gone all blue and our properties palette has changed. Right at the very top there's a big button. Select this button and you will see many walls falling down. what I would like you to do is select Standard under Curtain Wall. If I come back into the 3D and press Escape, you will notice our walls have all changed to glass. The next thing we're going to do is add some additional floors. I'd like you to go to the project browser and double click the East view. To maximize this view, simply close the other two windows. From here, I would like you to press ZA to zoom all. At the bottom of your screen, the graphic options bar, I'd like you to press the blue cube and then change the graphic styles to wireframe. Changing the graphic styles to wireframe enables you to see all objects at the same time. I would like you to select from left to right over the entire floor of level 1. Once you have done that, you will notice that our floor has turned blue. Now that we have our floor selected, let's copy it 2 times. Under the Modified Floor tab, which is currently green, go to the Copy tool, click that once. In the Options bar, just below it, I want you to tick Multiple. Now go down to your drawing area, select Level 1 level, click once, up to Level 2, click once, up to Level 3, click once. Once you've finished this, press Escape and Escape again. Now that we have done this, let's have a look in 3D. So under your project browser, double click 3D. And just like before, WT to window tile and ZA to zoom all. Our next stage, we are going to add structural columns. I would like you to go to the project browser and double click level 1. I would like you to make this our main view. So close the east elevation and the 3D, press ZA to zoom all. Under the architectural tab, just above build, you will notice structural column. Press this button. Once you press this button, you will notice that we are in a green user face. From here, we are going to load a Revit family. I'd like you to press the button Load Family. From here, you are entering a huge database of families and 2D elements which work with Revit. I'd like you to go to Structural Column near the bottom. From here, I would like you to open Concrete Square. Click once and then press Open. Once the family has been loaded, you will notice in the Properties palette that we are currently using a concrete square 300 by 300 millimeters. Before we place this concrete square, I'd like you to go to the Options bar and change Depth to Height, change 2,500 to 0, change Unconnected to level 3. From here, we are now going to place 3 columns on grid line 4, both on A, C and D. Zoom into grid line 4, hover over both grid lines, click once. Scroll down the grid lines to grid line C, click once, down to D, click once again. Zoom out, press Escape twice, and you will notice that the user interface has changed from green to grey. One of the great things about adding columns to grid lines is it automatically locks to them. So for example, if I select grid line 4 and pull it slightly to the left, you'll notice that our columns have moved with it too. To see this better, if you go to the 3D view, get the angle just right, press WT, then ZA, select your grid line, move it again, and you'll notice that the 3D view automatically updates. As Revit is a very powerful tool, there are actually quicker ways to add columns to grid. To do this, let's quickly delete what we have created. In your 3D view, select one column, right click, select all instances, visible in view, and you will notice all three columns have been highlighted, and simply press the delete button. Returning back to your floor plan and going to the Architectural tab and Column button, we can create all concrete squares at grid. So just like before, we already have the height and level sorted, but now we're going to press at grid. From here, we're going to select all the internal grids. So that is B, C and D, 2, 3, 4 and 5. To do that, we'll zoom in between grid line 6 and A, hover our mouse about here, click once and then slowly drag. Maybe you might have to zoom out until you get over to grid line 2. Once you have done that, let go. If you zoom in, you will notice that there are lots of grey columns on the grid lines, giving you an indication where they are going to be placed. From here, we press the green tick, and you will automatically notice in 3D that your columns have been placed. To exit this command, simply press escape. Our next stage is to add an additional floor and modify its boundaries. From here, I would like you to select the floor in the 3D view. Once you have done that, it should go blue. Under the Modifies Floor tab, which is currently green, all the way over to the left hand side, you'll see a copy to clipboard. Press this. Once you have done that, then go to the Paste button, but on the pull down menu, select Aligned to select levels. I'd like you to choose level 3 and then press OK. And automatically you know that the floor has jumped up, copied and ended up at level 3. From here, I would like you to go up to the top in the Modify Floors, which is currently in green, and select Edit Boundary. Once you do that, the user interface will change to a different green. All of our grid lines and columns, etc. will be greyed out, and our floor boundary is purple. We are back in a sketch mode. Going to the level 1, zooming in slightly, select this line once by clicking and then dragging over to grid line 1 and then let go. Once you let go, you will see our lock tool. Select this. When it's gold, click once to lock it. Now we're going to finish the sketch mode with the green tick. As you can see on the screen, there is a warning with regards to walls going up to the floors and attaching them. We can ignore this warning for now. Within your 3D view, you will notice that the geometry of the structural columns is not connecting to the slab. To be able to join this, we have two options. If the floor is selected and is blue, the Modify Floor tab will be green. To join the geometry of the structural column to the floor, on the left hand side at the top, there is a Join Geometry button. Select this, and directly underneath that you have a tick box that says Multiple Join. Make sure that this is checked. Your next step is to select the floor, then a column, and then again another column and another column, then press escape. And you will notice that those three columns have joined to the structural slab. A quicker way to join all the structural columns to the structural floor is by simply pressing the Modify tab, then the Join tool. In your 3D, select the floor so it's blue. Then go to your first floor plan and select all structural columns from left to right. Once you've done that, you will notice all columns have joined. This concludes our third step, so close level 1 and your 3D view and do not save the project as you might want to use it again.